Welcome to the A1 Podcast. I'm your host, Ernest Christian. Actually coming to you mobile because I cannot be in studio, unfortunately, right now. First off, I gotta apologize for missing the last 2 weeks of the podcast. I apologize, number one. A lot going on, a lot of family things going on here. Nothing bad, of course. It's been really busy here at home. Number one. Number two, my arm is in a sling right now. I've had a major, my shoulder blade has been pretty much out of, I don't know what to say. It's been a lot of pain. So today I finally went ahead and got a sling for my arm to keep it in place. This is probably going to affect me in work for the next couple of days, most likely, maybe a couple of weeks. We'll see how that goes. It's been a rough couple of days, actually, honestly. It's actually the reason why I haven't been able to record this podcast a couple of days. I had planned on recording this Tuesday night, but I was in so much pain. Actually, if you watch the episode, we did the simulcast on this feed, actually, too, of the Studio Game podcast as well as the Huddle podcast. And if you watch the video version of that, you can see that I'm very much uncomfortable in my chair because, my back was killing me. I couldn't get, still the pain was just, just crazy, so I figure right with this podcast, I'll do mobile on my phone where I'm kind of, in a place where I'm comfortable right now for the time being and have to worry about being in the studio. We'll see how tonight goes with the wrestling podcast. And then I still got to do my podcast tonight too also, which we'll see how that plays out. But we got a lot of topics to talk about today on the show. No, what's not a lot of topics. We have 5 takes. 5 thoughts in the NBA that's want to let you guys know where I'm at. Again, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm a little out of it. Got a little bit a couple of meds also. I'm right now currently using to null this pain. It's a lot of pain. I've never had pain like this in my life. In terms of especially my arm, had to try to get in a sling. I've been medication and using icy hots and all that. It's helped temporarily, but still an issue. So, let's get to the first take of the podcast. Number 1, Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets center, defending 2-time MVP, back-to-back MVP. It's very possible. Actually, no, I won't say it's possible. I'll tell you my opinion. He's better now than he was in the last 2 years. So I know there's a little bit of like a fatigue when it comes to Jokic because, a lot of times, this happens to all the best of the players. Even Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan could have won MVP every year in the league. He was that damn good. But he only has 5. I say only 5, like it's not a little bit, but it's not really. It's actually a lot. But, sometimes we want to reward other players. But the thing is, if I had to vote right now for MVP, it would be Jokic because he has his team in first place. Currently in the Western Conference for starters. He's better this year than he was the previous 2 years with MVP. And, while it is a crowded field of competitors for the award this year, many are deserving of that, I just think that he's elevated his game in a way where you have to give him his props. Now, I guess you can talk Jason Tatum, you can talk, Joel Embiid, you can talk all these other guys, but I just think Nikola Jokic, the fact he has his team also in first place in the Western Conference, number 1 seed in a conference that's been very much, cannibalistic in a way, but, you're starting to see a little bit of distance now. They now got 3-game lead with Memphis now currently in the conference. I just think that it's something that we shouldn't shy away from that opinion. Like, I think that if you believe Jokic should be MVP, regardless of how many he's running back-to-back or not, we should reward that guy. So I think he deserves it personally. So He's better than he was the last 2 years. Number two, second take. This is the team I think is not on the radar just all year long, but the Philadelphia 76ers are red hot now. They won, I believe, 21 of their last 25 games. They're on a roll. And we all year long we were talking about the Boston's and Denver's and Memphis and of course Milwaukee. Philadelphia all of a sudden it's kind of on the radar. Obviously, you had James Harden injured early in the year and a couple of things there, but they've quietly kept things together, and now all of a sudden are in the top number 3 right now. Currently number 3 in the East, but only a half game for number 2 and 3 behind number 1 Boston. And again, another MVP candidate, Joel Embiid, definitely a guy that should be in the conversation. I would say he's probably the best center in the league. Neck and neck with Jokic, I would say I would probably take Embiid for one reason. He's a better defender, a better two-way player. But that's another argument for the day. Philadelphia's been fantastic. They've been on a roll. Again, the question is going to be: do you trust this team when it comes down to conference finals, NBA finals? Is this team good enough? Can they crack Milwaukee? Can they crack Boston? Can they, what I'm saying right now, yes, they can. I still think that if them and Brooklyn play in the 7-game series, that can go 7 games. I think they can give Boston a run for money. I think they can give Milwaukee a run for money. The thing is James Harden has to be healthy, has to be engaged. Embiid will show up. Like Tyrese Maxey, for the most part, will show up. There's other pieces. They have probably one of the best four-man, crew between those 3 guys and then Tobias Harris in the league. But again, it's about the playoffs in the day. Where's their ceiling? Is Doc Rivers ready to get to the next step again? He's won a championship in 14, 15 years now. Is he ready to the next step? Those are the things I question Philadelphia. But I can see him, taking it to the end. At least the conference finals, definitely, All right, number 3. The Clippers starting to figure things out now. They've, Kawhi Leonard's been playing more games until late, and it's translating some wins. They've cracked the top 6 in the Western Conference now, finally. The conference has been cannibalizing themselves. Right now, as we're recording, they're number 4. In fact, before the conference, they won 7 last 10 games. Starting to play better. And again, their ceiling, of course, is like if they're all things equal, they could be the best team in the Western Conference. They can probably beat Denver and probably beat Memphis. If Kawhi is back to being Kawhi of old, healthy, this team's a problem. But again, it comes out of Kawhi being healthy, and if he stays healthy, it's the sky's the limit for this team. I trust in Ty Lue. I like their team. The defense is, the defensive prowess is good. They're a really, really, really good team. It's just that they just can't stay healthy. Remember him and Kawhi and Paul George. Couldn't they stay healthy? If so, they're a problem. So we'll see how that plays out. But the Clippers it looks like they're back. After injuries and all sorts of things, they look like they're back. Number 4, the Eastern Conference is starting to round itself out. Now, I just mentioned the Sixers a little while ago. The East right now, you look at the top. When I mean round out, I mean the top 6. The top 6 teams that I predicted would be in the top 6 are officially there now. For a little while, good chunk of the year, you had Miami struggling between 6 and 10, whatever, and same with the Sixers for a little while, a couple of other teams, and then you had Indiana plus start well. And now they've, with the injuries to Tyrese Halliburton, that's hurt them a lot. Other things, the Knicks played well. Now they're starting to come back to earth a little bit. The East now is starting to round itself in a way where the 6 teams on top that we thought would be in the top 6 are there now. Boston 1, Milwaukee 2, Philly 3, Brooklyn 4. Cleveland's started us a little bit now as well, too. They're at 5. Miami at 6. And I suspect this will be what it is. I don't think New York, Atlanta, Washington, or Indiana will crack the top 6. I think those are your playing teams. I think the 6 you have now are the 6 that are going to remain. So I think my kid in the background. He stayed from school today because wasn't feeling well. Anyway, the 6 teams you have there are going to be the ones that are going to stick. So it's finally rounding itself out. So there's that. And finally, last take of the year on the N1 podcast with EJ. LeBron James is 89 points away from breaking the scoring record. And I want to keep this simple. Well, it's not too preachy, none of that. But can we just appreciate the moment? Appreciate what's going on here? This is a record that's held up now for 39 years. 39 years. Only two players in the National Futures League have held this record, the scoring title. That is Wilt Chamberlain, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That is it. LeBron is about to break the record next week or two. Probably next week. The way he's playing, probably next week. Can we just appreciate, whether or not you like LeBron, hate LeBron, can we appreciate where we're at now? And I think it's so fitting that a guy who yes, can score the basketball, of course, but isn't a natural scorer in the way we look at Kobe and Jordan and, all those guys, Carmelo Anthony, pure scorers. And that's not, LeBron's not that guy. And that's a tribute to him when I say that, because LeBron is probably the best all-around player in the history of the game. I dare say, probably, he is. By the way, he's fourth in assists, too, on top of that. Hello. We just got to appreciate this guy, man. I wish we did that. And, he's going to break this record. Kareem's held for 39 years. A record that we thought, maybe Jordan would have broke at one point, but Jordan retired a couple times, and that hurt his case. And Kobe's injuries late in his career definitely hurt his case as well, too. LeBron is 38 years old. He's still a top 10 player. Some would argue top 5. He's playing really good individual basketball. The Lakers were actually holding on to their life. Still in the race despite all these injuries. And we can't appreciate this guy. So appreciate history. Love or hate the guy. I appreciate history here. So LeBron, salute to you when you hit this record, and just appreciate the moment, because we don't get these moments like this. This is something we may never see in our lifetime. I mean, which players do you see? Maybe Luka Doncic on the road may break his record. I don't see what players do you see break his record. I mean, Kevin Durant would have had a chance if he didn't get injured, but he gets hurt a lot. So just appreciate the moment. So anyway, those are my 5 takes this week in the NBA on the N1 and EJ podcast. Again, I am on Twitter at EJ7. Of course, if you want to check out all my work as well, check it out, the Earnestly Speaking podcast, which I will hopefully, I'm going to drop tonight. If my injury here holds up, I'll be doing that in a sling, most likely. Other than that, my wrestling podcast, Take the Wrestling as well. Other than that, we'll talk to you guys soon. God bless y'all, and we'll see you next week. Later.